Bitcoin has not made a higher high. Yes, I said it. Bitcoin has not made a higher high. What if we see lower lows forever in this new trend? Oh my gosh, I screwed up. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you for watching my videos. My name is DaVinci Jeremy. I'm in a Pipe 5x5 staying live here in Dubai. Yes, it's a scary day today. I realized that, oh my God, I messed up. I'm going to show you how I messed up in the charts. How somebody who's also talking about how Bitcoin, right, is going to go lower than gold, and gold is going to cross Bitcoin. We're going to talk about that and more in today's episode, so make sure you stay tuned. First, I do a news rant, then I go and do TA on the charts, and yeah, I can't believe I missed this. Should have been looking at the bigger picture, but we're going to show you that in a moment. Oof. Well, anyways, we're gonna tell you what this means, how you're gonna trade it, how you're going to best survive, what is going to happen in today's episode. And if you're interested in trading, make sure you head over to okx.davincej15.com or bybit.davincej15.com today. And yes, you will be able to trade there and get a huge trading bonus, right? If you follow the instructions, right? Links are in the description below and also in the pinned comment, so check that out. Okay. Alrighty, let's get on with today's first news information. It's not really a news article, it's actually an opinion piece from November. It's a little bit old. Yeah, Bitcoin and gold prices may converge again in 2023 or 2024. Well, this is like a Peter Schiff article, but it's not actually Peter Schiff, right? It's just this guy called Paul Frank. Probably a gold bug, right? But let's just read what he has to say, what he has to say here. I've only written one article on Seeking Alpha about cryptocurrencies, suggesting in August 2021 here investors should avoid Bitcoin when its price was around 45,000. My story expanded how Bitcoin was a bubble that would eventually burst. I have never owned cryptos because I have no clue how to value them without concrete, verifiable math. Bitcoin could be worth $100, $1,000, or 100,000. Who knows? It's all guesswork and hoping a greater fool will show up willing to pay more, just like every other tulip craze. Okay, I have to interject in this, right? Because like I gotta say something. Right? First off, he talked about verifiable math, right? There is verifiable math in crypto because cryptography is math. All right. So, what verifiable math helps you figure out what gold's value is, right? Because he is obviously a gold bug, since he's comparing it to gold basically in this article later on when he talks about that. So, because it's saying it's going to cross now. What's the verifiable math for gold? I mean, there's a you could say there's an increase in the gold supply by 2%, the total supply that's already existing. You know exactly how much is above ground, and so forth, and a general sense of how much is in the earth and out in outer space, and so forth. Those are some of the verifiable maths you have with gold, right? But there isn't, and it's not even absolute, right? It's an estimate, right? And all these numbers, right? But with Bitcoin, it's an absolute, the math. 100% absolute. There is no, let's just give it a guesstimate, and we might be right, we might be wrong kind of math happening here. It is 100% absolute. There is no guesswork involved. It's because it's man-made, right? It's created, and we know exactly how many Bitcoin there will ever be. What we don't know is how many people are going to lose. So we only know that there's going to be less Bitcoin than the 21 million available for people to use going forward. So, but we just don't know how much that's going to be, because that's up to you guys, the people who use it. So that creates a deflationary cycle in and of itself. Now, also, right? Why you said that you can't figure out why it's worth 100, 1,000, or $100,000? Well, why is that? Well, because you're basing it on speculation that people will understand. When will they understand what Bitcoin is, how the math works, why it's going to work, right? And you can't compare it to tulip craze, right? Because if you do that, that means because tulips can be created in infinite numbers. So you're making a comparison of Bitcoin between something that can be created infinitely and something that cannot. Right? So it makes me go, okay, you're just not making fair comparison, which makes it impossible for you to be objective about what Bitcoin is. Just saying. Just saying. All right, so this guy is like coming in obviously in the November 15th, we're near the bottoms, right? Or so, and he goes on to saying, right? Unfortunately, the U.S. Federal Reserve's central bank has decided to mop up liquidity by raising interest rates and selling bonds in its balance sheet. This action has poked a hole in the higher forever hopes of the crypto lovers. What if a lower forever trend is the new reality? Dum dum dum. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! It might be the new reality. Well, you know what? Unfortunately, this chart. Looking at this chart, I realized, oh my God, I screwed up. We did not break above the previous high here of 25,343. We only did 25 to 48. So we're going to talk about that more later on. But I want to poke holes in his statement that the interest rate has been raised so that they can mop up their balance sheet. Okay, let's see. Let's take a look at how much mopping they've done with the money supply. Ooh, look at that. They increased the money supply from February 2020, right? To like what was it? 40%? 40% they increased the money supply. So that means prices have to increase for commodities by 40% or more. And look at this mopping up. Oh, a whole 5% down. Ooh, that's cleaning up the shop. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. They didn't even buy. If you look at the trajectory here, now I should have did a screen capture, but even in the trajectory, right? See, because there's a general trajectory of the increase in money supply, we haven't even come back to that trajectory that the Fed needs to do to even consider this being mopping up, right? So yeah, we haven't done any mopping. Now, if we scroll down, right, so we go on to his predictions, right? So here's my predictions. As cryptocurrencies continue to deflate in 2023, and the reasons to buy gold multiply in a deep global recession. So he's predicting a recession that's coming. There might be a deep recession, and we're going to talk about how Bitcoin is correlated with the stock market and what that means in the next article. But yes, gold prices in U.S. Dollars per ounce will eventually converge with Bitcoin. Then gold will surpass Bitcoin in price and reclaim its position as leading base money to value everything else in our fractional reserve banking world. It could happen quickly, or it may take several years, but I'm confident this convergence will be reality soon enough. Okay, we have difference in opinion. So his opinion is that, well, gold has been money and has always been money, and the government, the Federal Reserve is going to do right by increasing the decreasing the money supply, But they don't do that. They don't do that during recessions typically. They increase the money supply in recessions. And so it makes it disingenuous to say that, oh yeah, gold is going to surpass Bitcoin prices when they want to raise asset prices during a recession. I don't know how you reconcile that. But all right. Whilst I, on the other hand, I think that Bitcoin is going to be money, and this is what I believe, right? I think that people are going to use this as money because it's 1,000 times better. Why is it 1,000 times better than the money that you're currently using? Well, because you're able to transfer the wealth to anyone in the world and no one can stop you. No one can say, call you up and say, hey, I stopped that transaction that you wanted to make because, well, we want to make sure that that was actually you. Yeah, no one's going to do that. No one's going to say, well, you know what? We're going to make up some reasons. We're going to say, hey, you know what? You're a bad person, and we're going to freeze all your accounts because we think you're a bad person. We think you did some trafficking of people. And so that's bad, and so we're going to put you in jail, even though we have no evidence. And take all your money. No more. That's possible. That's not possible anymore. So a lot of things are now available to you as an owner of Bitcoin as money. You're able to also ensure that the money supply can never be changed. You know that because it's a mathematical algorithm. So that means you'll always have an increasing value of your money forever in perpetuity. This is really necessary for today's environment for me and personally because people, right, they work hard and they try to save and they can't save with their current environment because the money printing constantly makes the value of their money less and less every single day and the value of their labor less and less every single day. This is a horrible system and it has to come to an end, and Bitcoin will end it. Now, why wouldn't gold do that? I know I'm going off on a tangent here, so why wouldn't gold do that? Well, it's because we've done gold before, and the problem is we have to use governments to ensure that, hey, that the gold is backed up by the paper money or the money in the bank. And since, they like to change the rules on us, and they've done that several times in the past, gold is no longer viable as an option for money. There it is. So Bitcoin becomes the new option of money and not gold. And that is my thesis on the subject, why Bitcoin will continue to go higher, why Bitcoin will continue to surpass gold even in its market capitalization in the future, which gold has a $10 trillion capitalization, Bitcoin has a $1 trillion capitalization. So soon it's going to be 10x more and surpass that significantly in market capitalization. Okay, is the IMF shutting the door permanently on Bitcoin as a legal tender? Slam. It's just no. No more legal tender, right? Right. They're saying directors generally agree that crypto's assets should not be granted official currency or legal tender status in order to safeguard monetary sovereignty and stability. Yes, you've created a lot of stability with our current financial system. I remember how stable it was back in 2000, right, when the stock market collapsed. I remember how stable it was back in 1987. I remember how stable it was back in 2008 when all the banks were dead. That's some serious stability. Oh, damn, they make me laugh, the IMF. Yes, the IMF mandate is to promote global economic stability and growth. It's therefore reasonable that the IMF has recently advised countries to refrain from granting a legal tender status to crypto assets, which are, by design, often disruptive in nature. Such disruption does arguably present just as much opportunities as threats, but the IMF must tread a more prudent path when faced with such open-ended uncertainty. Okay, this was very cordial, trying to be polite, right, to the IMF. But really, what this guy was saying is like, okay, you do know that people are going to choose this, and that it's going to disrupt your financial system anyways. So, and you might want to like be a little bit cautious with your statement, because honestly, people are going to do what's best for them, and it's going to be disruptive anyway. So it's uncertain people are going to choose, because people are going to choose whatever they choose. But you might want to make it a little bit open there to say, okay, we're not telling you we don't recommend you using it as a legal tender, but if you want to, right? I understand, and that's it. That's all this guy's trying to say. Don't make yourself look like a fool. There are good economic reasons why most countries would not want to adopt cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin as their local script. In short, they don't want to lose the profits from printing their own money, or the economic control over the economy that fiat currencies provide. Yes, that is what the IMF should be saying. Hey, you won't be able to steal money from your citizens by printing it if you allow it to be a legal tender, because that's what everybody does: steal from their citizens. You need to be able to steal, because then you wouldn't be able to raise money and buy whatever you want as a government, and crush any kind of rebellion. If you can't print money and pay for stuff, which effectively steals from anybody who uses it, well, hey, that's not going to work. so yeah, that's our current financial system today, and that's why the IMF is telling countries not to use it as legal tender. But that's not going to stop it. That's not going to stop Bitcoin from being legal tender. The public will demand it, because it is a better monetary system. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to go over, this large article, right, is cryptocurrency, digital gold, or digital equity. The one thing I want to go over in this article, and the links are in the description below on each of these articles, is that because I was talking to somebody and they asked me if Bitcoin was correlated with the stock market. And I was thinking over a longer period of time, it's not. And as shown in the table below, BTC is highly correlated with stocks. They're saying that yes, it's correlated with like the S&P 500, not so much with gold, but other what's it called, indicators, right? So, but the problem is, right? Take a look what they are rating this over the last 2.5 years. That it is now correlated with stocks. It wasn't before. So you can see that the correlation was practically zero, because as you can see, if it's 50% below the time and 50% above, it's just not, that's a zero correlation over a longer span. Yes, the correlation has increased significantly, but eventually that's going to come back to this mean here. Now, for now, it is correlated, but over a longer period of time, it's not. And we're going to see that coming forward. Now, for now, because it is correlated, because the banking system needed to be somewhat correlated so that they can manipulate it, help the public manipulate it itself as well, we're going to see this. What does this mean when there is a recession coming down the pipe? Does that mean that when the stock markets drop, will Bitcoin drop? Unfortunately, yes, it does. And let's get on with the TA for today, which is not going to be looking good. I really messed up. I really thought that Bitcoin had broken. I don't know. I had 25K in my head as a breakout level. It was actually 25,343, and it clearly went. It didn't get to that point. You can see that in the chart here. It just nearly nicked it there, and oops. Let's see. Wait a minute. Hang on. Oh, I forgot I thought I had the magnet on. Oh my, magnet mode. That's not good. Okay. Whew. Looks like I am right. First I was wrong, now that I'm right. Okay, there we go. I didn't have the magnet, so it did break the levels. Yes. Oh my goodness. Whew. Look at that. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, so that means that Bitcoin has, because it broke the previous high, even though it just wicked it, that is a higher high, right? A higher high that Bitcoin has done on the weekly, right? We can see that this one right here, there we go. Let's go change colors, right? There it is, right there. This one right here, at the 25, what is it, 25,200 level, has broken nicely. Now, it is only done it by a hair, but it does count as it counts the other way if it missed it by a hair. So that indicates that we've created a higher high on Bitcoin for on the weekly for a first time in a while. So that's a positive. Whew, I really thought the lows. I was going to talk about how the lows would be a possible break here at the lows because of this. But now that we've created a higher high, that's not in the cards. Yes. All right. So now that we've done that, so we can see that Bitcoin has a greater possibility of turning around here. Let's go to the charts, the lower time frame charts, and oh boy. Okay, let's zoom in on this. Thought I had to zoom, but there we go. So right now, Bitcoin is just in a tight range, right? I was telling you, hey, it's got to break above the 22,649. It nearly did that, and spooked you. So if you were trading this on a daily time frame, right, or a shorter time frame, you probably, if you jumped in on a trade because it reversed and went higher, you got a little bit wrecked here, and you need to be precautious. You need to wait for it to decide on a direction, and it has not done so. So be careful out there. I think the right trade is to wait until it breaks either of these points and then follow through. Once again, at Davitar holders, right? If you want to join, if you have the call property or the yacht property, you can call me, or if you have the yacht property, you can visit me on the yacht on March 16th is when we're going to have available the yacht. It's going to be at 4 o'clock boarding time, so make sure you sign up today at Davitar.com if you own one of these NFTs. Okay, let's head over to Ethereum. Again, Ethereum has a clear, breakout level and breakdown level as well. 1588 is the breakout level, and 15448 is a breakdown. That's where we are. Intraday, we're going to be chopping you out like crazy. Odds are that Bitcoin and Ethereum should break down and head lower. And you can see, let's just zoom out a little bit. You can see that the next level for support is around 1507 is the next support level. So that's around the next level of support for Ethereum, and I think we're going to probably test it. Bitcoin and Ethereum doesn't like these wicks, so they like to eat these wicks. So even if we do a Bart Simpson's up here, it's probably going to come back down, right? We could do a Bart back up, and and then fail back all the way back down to here. So that is the most likely scenario in my personal opinion. Okay. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Hope you enjoyed the cliffhanger. I'm glad that I was not completely off on that on the charts. I thought I was completely wrong, and that's why I was starting the show off. And it was during the show I realized I was right. And I'm glad. So, anyways, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.